What's going on, nation? I'd like to officially welcome you to my movie room. Now, I know it doesn't look like much now, but it's because I have had no time to get in here and organize anything. But it's getting there. When it's done, it's going to be one of the most epic movie rooms you've ever seen in your life. It's going to be sweet for my movie reviews, which for right now, I'm just going to have to do it using my Captain America shield as a back pad because I have no chairs in here. But I want to do a fun movie review with Captain America 2, The Winter Soldier, and I also wanted to relate it to Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Because if you guys haven't been watching Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., then you're missing out on a lot of fun stuff that's happening with the Marvel franchise. I know, I started watching the series when it first came out. I was really excited, and to be honest, the first 2 episodes I kind of thought were cheesy, and I'm like, I'm not watching this anymore. And then my buddy Joe was like, hey, you gotta watch it, the show's getting crazy. So I got caught up on some episodes, and I've been watching it ever since. I've watched the last, probably 8 episodes on TV, with real time. So I've been watching the show, I've been following it, and what's been the coolest thing about it is when Thor came out, the episodes were in sync with the Thor movie, and they've been in sync with Captain America. And obviously there's gonna be spoilers in this chat about Captain America 2, so if you haven't seen it yet, then you might want to stop watching this video. So with that out of the way, one of the things I thought was really cool about when Captain America 2 came out is I was reading a bunch of stuff online, and I guess Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they could not even say the word Hydra in any of their episodes until Captain America 2 came out, because basically that's what Captain America 2 was all about. The Winter Soldier and Hydra coming out of hiding, and they've infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D. to the core, and it was a pretty epic movie. And I thought it was so funny because the running joke was, spoiler alert, Captain America uses his shield in Captain America 2 because we all know who the Winter Soldier is. And if you don't know who the Winter Soldier is, the information's been around forever online if you're a comic book reader. So, it was no surprise, obviously, who these people were. But the main surprise was how it all was going to break down. Because obviously, if you watch the series or you watch cartoons or read comic books, you know Hydra's always coming back and causing trouble. So it's been probably 2 weeks since the movie came out. No, almost 3 weeks. And I saw the movie opening night with Erica, and we absolutely loved it. She thought it was probably the best Marvel movie that's ever come out so far. And to have a girlfriend who likes to go to Marvel movies and who wants to go opening night. The movie came out Friday. We went Thursday night to a late night show. That's pretty awesome. I'm a pretty lucky guy. And so I explain things to her usually if she doesn't understand what's going on, who characters are. And so the movie itself, I just kind of want to go over some of the most epic parts for me. And for me, one of the most epic things about the movie was just the introduction of the Winter Soldier. That was my favorite part of the movie. He gets in there, he's all badass. His arm, they could have been really cheesy. They could have been just put a metal arm on Bucky and just kind of hey, he has a metal arm. The fact that they made it do all these little things when he would punch through walls or grab people, I thought that was just absolutely amazing, and it really captivated the audience. He lifted his arm up like this, and all the little gears were turning and stuff. That was pretty badass. Not to mention the red star on his arm. I saw a really badass t-shirt that had half of it was Captain America's shield, and the other half was the metal of Bucky's arm, and the star merged in the middle. That was pretty cool. But if you watch Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you're getting pretty pissed off up until the point where you see Captain America 2 because the whole time Coulson's trying to find Nick Fury. Granted, you don't know the exact timeline of how things are happening, but as soon as you see the movie, you think that Nick Fury's dead. Well, you never really think he's dead because he's always up to something and he doesn't die, but now you know why Coulson was getting so pissed and why Coulson couldn't find Nick Fury because of all the stuff that was going down. And even that scene was pretty intense when, that's the preview they showed on TV where Captain America jumps out of the door, jumps out of the window and throws his shield and Bucky catches it, and it was just epic. I love the fact that they introduced the Falcon. That guy is a badass character, and I was wondering if they were going to play it out the way it is in one of the comic books where the Falcon gets injured, he's just a normal dude, and then Captain America cuts his wrist, or I forget where he cuts himself, and he pours his blood into the Falcon's mouth, and he's like, it'll either kill you or heal you, basically, and that's kind of what gave him his super strength to be the Falcon. That jetpack was pretty sweet, you can't deny that. I don't want to get into too much detail of because I like to talk a lot about movies and everything scene by scene. My honest opinion of the movie, I thought it was great. They're doing a really good job of bringing characters in together. I mean, one of the most frustrating things about watching these movies is you're always like, geez, all this stuff's going down and Iron Man didn't come to help, or Thor didn't come to help, or where's Hawkeye, you know, and you're wondering where all these other superheroes are, but you have to kind of like convince yourself that they're off on other missions dealing with other stuff, and that's why they're not present in this movie, you know what I mean? Because it's kind of frustrating. It's like these spaceships are falling down and all this technical stuff is happening with infiltration of computer systems and hacking, and you're like, damn, where's Tony Stark? He should be all over this. He's ahead of the game, you know, but he was probably off on some other mission. I know they're bringing in Ultron. They're bringing Ultron in to the series, and so he's probably off creating Ultron somewhere, you know. Coolest parts of the movie, I thought it was pretty awesome when he went back to the base and they kind of did some reminiscing of his earlier days when he was really skinny and he was in the Army barracks camp. And a lot of people said like Captain America 1 was just a really slow movie. They didn't like it. But I feel like for Captain America as a character, you kind of have to have that build-up, and that first movie was epic in its own way, where you're really getting a sense of who he is as a person, because if you didn't watch the first movie to kind of see his upbringing, I mean, obviously if you know the character, you know the character, but the movie did a really good job of showing him as like a good old boy, and that's why it really translates well in the other movies like Avengers or Captain America 2, and I guess you can kind of like put up with his attitude and how he sees the world, and you know, why he is the way he is. So I think that's really important. I thought it was really cool when they went back to that bunker space and he was kind of remembering, you know, that part where they had the flagpole and he pulled the pin out to get the flag from the top. But I did not expect Zola to be in the basement of that place, that secret silo they found. I thought that was really cool. They brought Zola back into the series through that computer system, and we all know he's going to come back to life somehow. He didn't just die down there when the thing exploded. Plus, he wouldn't do that to himself anyways. It'd be kind of dumb for a supervillain to kind of blow himself up to try to kill Captain America. I kind of was under the impression that there would have been a lot more rubble and concrete falling on top of Captain America and the Black Widow, and he wouldn't really be able to kind of hold up hundreds of thousands of pounds with his shield, but it's the movie. What are you gonna do? And speaking of that, this brings to my attention that one dude who always seemed to be like after Captain America and after Nick Fury, that one soldier. I didn't do my research yet to see exactly who he is or if he's going to become someone, and he's the guy at the very end who was like a burn victim after the building exploded, but he was just irritating me the whole movie because he was such a jerk, especially when he was in the room where he's telling the dude to activate the ships, and then the girl from Revenge, and she pulls the gun out. I'm like, just shoot the guy, just shoot him. I mean, obviously he did a good job of playing his role because you're supposed to hate him. Every time I saw him, I knew he was up to no good even in the beginning. Overall, the movie itself I thought was great. It's really setting things up for the future movies. The Guardians of the Galaxy looks pretty awesome. I was thrown off a little bit by the preview they showed, and I was like, oh, I hope this movie's just not like a funny, goofy, like dumb movie. But I didn't know that Bradley Cooper was playing the raccoon and that Vin Diesel was playing Groot. So what'd you guys think of Captain America 2? What did you think of the introduction of Bucky? The very end, when Bucky was finally like figuring things out. And for those of you who don't know, the reason why Bucky is still young is because basically they brainwashed him, turned him into the Winter Soldier, and then Hydra would only take him out of cryosleep to complete a mission, and then they put him right back in cryosleep and leave him there until they needed him again, which is why if you realize one of the scientists, when they were trying to brainwash Bucky again in the seat, he said, Bucky, he's been out of cryosleep too long, he's been awake too long, he's starting to remember things, and that's one of the reasons why, because they're kind of making reference to that, you know, deal that they always put him back into cryosleep, and that's how he stays young. But for those of you who don't know, the Winter Soldier, Bucky, he eventually does become Captain America when Captain America retires and later dies and comes back to life and all that deal. But before I kind of wrap up the movie, obviously I didn't talk about every single detail because that's what the comment section below is for, so we can kind of chat down there and talk about the movie, because I obviously want to know your input and your favorite parts and what you thought. But if you've been following the Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show, I'm getting really pissed off at Ward. And I wasn't even mad that he killed that dude. I think his name was Eric, the guy who was running that secret facility that they found in Canada, wherever the hell they went. I wasn't even mad because the whole time during the lie detector, when he pulled his gun out and he's asking Ward the questions, Ward was being so avoidant of trying to answer the questions straight. The dude should have known right there. So the fact that he is dead, I don't care, because he should have known. He should have known. He knew. He pulled the gun out and he knew Ward was lying. Honestly, from the beginning, I thought that Ward was going to be a good guy, and then before I saw the episode before this one where Ward killed Hand, before they showed that scene, I thought he was still going to be a good guy, and then as soon as that all went down, then I kind of thought, because they always make Ward's face look like he doesn't want to do what he's doing, like he's conflicted. So they kind of still put a glimmer of hope in your eye that he's going to be a good guy. But I feel like over the last 2 episodes, they really kind of did away with that. He's not coming back as a good guy. And if he does, I mean, Skye already knows what's going on. Skye already knows he killed somebody. He's a traitor. So there's no way they're ever going to trust him again. I'm just interested to see where that series go. And I'm interested to see if Skye or Coulson make it back into one of the movies. I think that would be really cool. And if they do, they're lucky bastards, because that's just the opportunity of a lifetime. Not to mention everyone a part of the Marvel series. Granted, they're all super talented and they do a great job. They are some lucky bastards. To be a part of that movement, I mean, that's just a dream come true. So who knows, maybe one day I'll get to be like a background extra. That would be sweet. So hey, I want to know what you guys think of Captain America 2. I want to know what you guys think of how Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is progressing and what do you think is going to happen next. And like I said, let's discuss in the comment section below. Until next time, I'm going to go play with some of my toys. See you guys.